Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. This is a follow-up on the feeding your household and even the community. I had somebody bring up a good point in a comment, and he was wondering, okay, now, how do you handle the situation when you have visitors and stuff like that? So, after a shit at the fan situation. Now, first, let me, clarify a little bit here. Back in the 50s, there was a chance of nuclear wars, and especially when John F. Kennedy was the president, Russia was putting missiles in Cuba, and at that time it really looked like there was going to be a nuclear war, and I guess we were really close to it. But anyway, the point is, at that time there were people that had fallout shelters and protection from nuclear blasts and stuff like that. And you still find them in some of these homes. They still have them, and a lot of them were in the backyard, some of them were in the basement. But you look in these houses back in those days, there was some over there like that. One of the problems was you put out the expense, you built a nuclear shelter. And now, when the sirens go on, that's when all these sirens, this tornado sirens you hear now, those sirens were put in originally for nuclear attacks. Okay, now, when you have a nuclear attack, you're going to go to your shelter. And so will your neighbors. Your neighbors and family and friends are all going to come over to your house because they want to get in your shelter. And one of the problems that people always had to think about, and they've made movies about it and stuff like that, okay, you're in your shelter, and your family members, all these kind of people, all kinds of people want in. You've got in your shelter 30 days supply of food and water and everything you need to get through the nuclear fallout. But you only have enough for your family. So what do you do on the people outside? And this is basically the same thing when it comes to preparing. We're preparing for shit at the fan. Preppers are. Now, preppers believe something is going to happen, whether it's a hurricane, tornado, financial invaders, zombies, snowflakes. I mean, no telling what kind of events may come about. So, but preppers, they start prepping on one particular subject, and once you get started, you kind of snowball into, because it's easy once you already have the basics, you can go on into something else, and you can just keep getting all kinds of stuff. Now, the thing is, as we were just talking, we've got, here where we're at, we have well over a year's supply of food. We have water wells, we have ponds, we have everything we need in the way of water, and we're prepared. But we're out in the country. Country folks seem to prepare more because we realize there's always a chance for a tornado. And I'm a businessman, and as a businessman, sometimes you make money and sometimes you don't make money, sometimes you even go broke. So we've learned to save. This is why you hear me talk about gold and silver so much. I've had the ups and downs in financial shit at the fan, whether a fire got my business, a storm gets my business, or just business wasn't any good. I've learned don't spend all my money. And at the same time, I don't have all that much faith in currencies of any type. So I use gold and silver. So that's where I'm prepared. And then here where I'm staying, here in Oklahoma, whenever we go to Sam's or Costco or any of that, I always buy a few $100s worth of food that's storable. So we've got one bedroom that's completely plumb full with all kinds of paper products, food, weapons. We've got all kinds of good stuff. And I say we had my bus, and my bus was filled with stuff, and now I got that stuff emptied out. And, so we've got that, and so we're prepared. But like I say, country folk do like that anyway, under natural conditions. And of course, the guy I'm staying with is a vet, and vets tend to realize how things can go bad, and so that's why we're pretty much fixed up and ready to go. And the thing is, we were talking, and we already realize his wife's family, and he's got some family here too. They're all going to come here. They're all in the cities around us, but when things get ugly, they're all going to come here. We all know it. I know it, and I've talked about. We're set up that we can take control of this whole community here, and like I say, it's a farm community, so a lot of these places have some type of livestock of some type, gardens and stuff like that. So, but everybody needs to be safe, and they need to be organized, and that's what we do. And like I say, my friend, he's been doing the organization throughout his career, and I've been doing it. So, and we're both in the military, so we're all on the same page on this stuff. But a lot of things we disagree on, and there's on being prepared on what to do and how to do it and all this kind of stuff, and that's okay, because what it is, there's more options. Because if you don't agree with me, it doesn't matter, but we got more options. And same thing, I don't agree with you, you're thinking of something that I don't, and so my stuff didn't work. Hey, let's try whatever you have in mind, So this is why my videos are all about. I'm not telling people what to do, I make people think. And the problem is, remember, not everybody is going to think. Remember I talked about the nuclear shelters? Okay, there's a lot of people that, in the city especially, they're going to be working their way out here. This is why we're prepared to secure this area, keep the city folk out. Now, a lot of people who live here have their own homes, and they've got stuff supplied, because one time we had an ice storm, and they went 2 weeks without electricity, and the roads you couldn't get around and stuff like that. So, I mean, people got food stored anyway. But do they have enough for all the family and stuff like that? And we continually buy food, and I don't know how many others do it around here or not. But one thing that I do find odd, and when they ask me, well, how do you take care of the people that aren't with you, that are coming out? And the thing is, there's for us, we realize their immediate family, my immediate family isn't even close to here, so their immediate family is not prepared, and they haven't taken steps. This is what I personally don't like. My kids, I done told them a long time ago, and I gave them the stuff they need to get started, and the rest of it they need to prepare for themselves, because I will not furnish them everything they need, and that's for my own blood. And that's because if you're not stern, you're not open and direct for these people, it's not going to work. And these people are really nice people. I mean, what do you expect? They let me in, so if they're going to let me in, they're going to let their family in. So, but if they're smart, they would be putting, like I say, I put in a few $100s worth of food whenever we get a place where I can get bulk food, and gold and silver. I've got guns. I've got ammo. The cool thing is, it's not just here. I've got it in other places. This is why I say I am welcomed in the places that I go. And the reason I'm welcome is I've already started giving them stuff. So they already got stuff. And then I tell them, I'm not planning on coming, but if I'm coming, I need to get in. And so when they accept the stuff that I give them, they are accepting the fact that I may be coming also. But then again, remember, I have assets in the way of skills to offer besides the substance. And this is what people should be doing. Like say, you live out in the country, your family members should be coming out, once a month or so and help you work on the farm, plant the garden, help you eat the garden, and all this kind of stuff, because they're getting involved in it. Then it's much easier to open the door and let them in. Like I say, same thing on this particular house. It's not my house. He's the captain. He's the one that's in charge of this household. But even in this area, this isn't the only place I've got stuff stashed. So I got other places I can go also. And but people, if you have friends, relatives, and this type of stuff, and they're thinking they're going to be coming to your place, I hope you've talked to them and gave them some kind of understanding, because you only have so much food. You will need more people. Same thing here. We got all these small houses. We talked about the house. We need our particular house. We need enough food to feed ourselves, and we may end up having to go. There's probably 2, 3, maybe 3 houses pretty close to us that we might be able to guard each other, so we're all not spending the night every night up. But remember, these people thinking they're going to come here and they're going to get food, they're going to get guns, they're going to have everything. You're going to give them everything. They haven't thought this out too well, and you didn't communicate with them very well, because you need to talk to them about that. And we're right back to what I was talking about, gold and silver. Even if I don't have the forethought of getting things to a certain place ahead of me, I still got gold and silver that I could bring in that will help open doors, along with my skills. But this is what I'm saying. So feeding the household, you better have plenty enough food, and you better have a list of who's coming, and everybody that is coming, you better have talked to them and laid out the ground rules. Because like I say, even in this particular place where we're at, if your household is incapable of taking care of itself in the way of food, water, we can get the water and stuff like that, but guns and ammunition and this type of stuff, we may ask you to leave, and your house may be given to somebody else. In other words, people that aren't prepared, and when they're not prepared, they're not going to be welcomed. Even the ones that live right here, even our neighbors. And our neighbors know that they better prepare, because, like I say, they're not coming over here to gather whatever they want. I mean, we got cows too, so we got plenty of stuff, But like I say, it's not for sharing; it's for bartering. And so you need to talk to people that think that they're coming to you and get everything straight. Have a plan on how you're going to feed all these people, how you're going to take care of them. And if your neighbors, because they're not going to be stealing from your neighbors, I'll tell you that now. One of these neighbors starts stealing over here, their house is going to be burned. They're going to be out. They won't be here anymore. This is Mike. NoStressMike.com.